Good day, lords and ladies, and welcome to a corner's first look at Cybercult City, a game developed and published by Outskipper Games. This has a real Hotline Miami, early original Grand Theft Auto sort of top-down stick controller sort of vibe of cyberpunk aesthetic, which is really interesting. And I'll sort of be showing off the game today. So let's go options, and we'll first do controls. Quite basic controls. Only thing I would say about this is that when it says it allows you to remap, it literally only allows you to remap some of the controls. You can't, for example, remap having to use the mouse middle button and stuff like that. But I would say if they're going to allow you to remap, you should be able to remap everything, because I personally don't like using the middle mouse button. It's just a personal preference of mine. Now, sound-wise, pretty basic sound, but you don't need a lot in this game, to be honest. So that's not too bad. Visual effects, your full screen, window mode, sync on, particle effects, enemy health bars, radar size, which is nice. One thing I will say, for those of you who are photosensitive or have issues with flashing lights or flashing colours, this game is quite a neo colour palette, so please be aware of that. So let's first and foremost, we'll show off the intro. XX Cult Corp releases new technology allowing users to implant a neural uplink that connects the user's brain directly to the Hive network. Conveniently providing this new technology meant most citizens were enthusiastic to be implanted. As time passed, it became increasingly difficult to live comfortably in Cyber City without Cult Corp's neural link. For a decade, becoming nearly impossible to purchase goods, even work jobs without the implant. Those who didn't then end up living on the street. 5 years later, little did citizens of Cyber City know, Cult Corp was not the benevolent inventor it seemed. The implant had a backdoor allowing Cult Corp to release a virus through the implant, frying users' brains, turning people into an army of zombies. Or cyber zombies. The mayor of the city, as a youth, been forced to street select common citizen. It's up to you to right the wrongs for the first time in your life. I would say they could maybe slow down the speed of that. Just because trying to read it out loud is a wee bit too quick. But the general premise is that there is a corporation called Cult Corp who releases a piece of cyberware which everyone equips, and then they remote control you like a zombie. And you're the mayor, and you're basically going to save the day. You can choose a couple of different difficulties. We can go easy for learning, hard, the way the game is meant to be played, and adapt start you with less health. All explosions do damage. All difficulty settings offer the same tutorial for the first run. I would suggest you play the tutorial. It's pretty straightforward, but it's a useful thing to do. So, you can start the game with different kits, and you unlock more different kits by basically winning the game. We're going to go with your standard ranger character. This is how much damage he does, and how much he has. Basically a melee weapon and a ranged weapon, which basically you can only use so many times before they run out of power and have to wait to recharge. And you have some perks. So we have moves faster while on foot and aiming with the gun, moves faster while aiming with the sword. Max hit points is increased by 20. So basically the mayor is the beginning character. We're going to select the character. So we're currently in section 1. So we have no mods that we can modify our stuff with. Damage, speed. We have one drone part. We have a little drone that comes around with us that helps. We have no research to unlock anything new. And this is basically the enemies that we've encountered so far. Basic grunt. Veteran grunts, bombers, troopers, cyberbot, turrets. So these are the base. You can basically encounter enemies and you remember them. A very sort of roguelike experience. So like any good roguelike, we basically have a path to choose. We can either start at the top, or we can start at the bottom. Some maps will have these little indicators here, which will basically show hazards. Thick fog limits how far you can see, and late shift means there's less cyborgs. While hunted cyborgs drop credits, fire-resistant cyborgs. So let's go with what's a rescue? Rescue the hostages. So it depends where we want to go. If we want to go for this one, which is the easier path, and then we go into the next zone. Down here you can see your health and your weapons. Basically you have health, your battery which you use for hacking like every cyberpunk game, your ranged weapon and your melee weapon which can be toggled by basically the middle mouse button. I'm not a fan of that. I don't particularly like the middle mouse button to be used for things if I can help it. I'd rather use the keyboard. And you have stuff like grenades and mines, which are a limited resource that you have to recharge, and you have money. I think we're going to go the top way because this seems to be the easier way. Less cyborgs. Line of sight isn't great, but it is just how it is. Okay, using an injector will teach you its color-coded attributes for current run. So this is very much, if you've played stuff like Hotline Miami, there's a similar feel to this. So we have a little drone, we have 7 cyborgs to kill, and that's what I'm missing on the map is. Let's try and find some resources. We would like some medicinal money would be nice, maybe an upgrade kit like this one here. So, what did we get? A grenade. This trap card can be used on the icon at the top. Okay, so what did it give us? Extra physical damage. Yeah, fine. So that's just a straight up boost to our trap card, which is nice, but it did use up half our battery. So let's see if we can find... Ooh, that is nice. So let's hack that as well. Bigger bullets, more damage, slower shots. That's fine. So if we have our pistol out, how slow are we talking? It's pretty close range. You can also hack vehicles, use them to attack enemies, that kind of thing. Okay. It's the first time I've met this enemy. And our weapon needs to be charged. Man, this might have been a mistake. Might have been a mistake to do that. Because we took an absolute ton of damage. One thing I would say, I'd like if you had supplies left lying around on the ground. They are indicated on the map. Just like a little quality of life stuff, to be honest. That's my personal preference. I do think I made the mistake of basically upgrading the gun with that ability. It's not fantastic. But let's see if we can fix that. Right, he saw us. I didn't mean to do that either. You can also hack vehicles. Our drone took a lot more damage than I was happy with. Okay, so we got a couple of enhancement parts and bits and pieces. Our drone is not looking great. The thing with this game, being a roguelike, all the damage you cause carries over into the previous run. So you want to try and not lose health, not lose stamina, all that kind of thing. Okay, so let's... He's got grenades. One thing I don't like about this is that you have to sort of hold down just how far your grenades get thrown, which is pretty counterproductive to me. I find it... Especially considering how quickly the enemy can do it, I find it a bit annoying. Right. I am not a fan of it, and I'm going to say, like, the basic concept of this game isn't too bad. But at the same time, there are elements of it I just wish were better. Predominantly, some of the controls just feel a bit janky. So it'd be really nice to have it so that you didn't have to. You could like basically shoot from the hip without having to always aim. That would be really nice. Also, just the neon lights can be quite distracting. Spend drone parts to upgrade your drone permanently. So we can upgrade the drone. We can increase its energy, decrease drone overheat, agility. Let's increase the damage of the drone. We've got no stuff left there. We've got a couple of research. We need more research points. And we have its own drone. Some basic enemies. Okay, so we can go to the market now. I don't think we have enough to buy anything in the market. This is a nice little, like, both a game that seems to have been developed and published by probably a lone developer. It is an interesting little game. You can also do stuff like hack vehicles, hack turrets. You can get you've got like a little hoverboard you can get on, which you can basically zoom about on, gives you momentum, all that kind of jazz. We can also go to the shop and buy things if we had money. You can also give money to get upgrades. See, we don't have 300. You need quite a bit of money for the shops to pick up perks, or just to buy new weapons. Yeah, like purchases, like we just don't have the money. Money's actually fairly tricky to come by. Let's grab that. We get another fight. You feel lucky. Once you start on the path, you can't turn back as well, so just be aware of that. You also have the indicator on the side, how much loot there is in the area, how much threats there are in an area. My suggestion to you is to basically sort of, before you clear out the entire area, sorry, before you clear out the entire area and are forced to like leave, man, yeah, this... The thing I dislike about this is that the enemies can basically do the equivalent of shooting from the hip, and you can't. You have to basically, you have to sort of move and sprint. Okay, our little drone has just got whacked. Not enough. So I think we need energy to bring it back online. Okay. I don't know if cars explode. I'm just going to find out. Yeah, this does feel very much like... This does feel very much like the old sort of GTAs. Because GTAs had this functionality to it as well. I wonder what not enough means. Maybe we need a drone part or something. But this definitely has like a GTA feel to it, like in how some of the things work, which is nice. I liked the old school style GTAs. What does this do exactly? Okay, so that throws it across the room. Okay, interesting. As I said, like this also, if you've played like Streets of Rogue, this plays like a Street of Rogue game as well. Get more battery. Man, we just got lit up by a guy in a driving vehicle. Okay, that's good to know. Stand there, shoot at the vehicle. Oh. Took a lot of damage. I don't know. Like, I like the concept of this game is really good. I'm a fan of old classic games. Yeah, we probably need drone parts then. I'm a fan of old classic games. The one thing I would say is just they need to basically say which boxes you can work with. Oh, that basically hacks stuff. That's my mistake. I've been basically hacking stuff to switch it. Can be armed faster. Okay, fine, yeah. Probably would have preferred the sword mod, to be honest. Maxed out on, I think that's traps. Okay, so I'll show you how traps work. Which is you basically put a trap down. Let's try and bait him. There we go. And that's basically how traps work in the game. Didn't realise you could shoot your own traps. Took a bit of damage. Yeah, I would say I don't like the ability. I don't like the fact that you can't shoot from the hip. If I'm being honest. What is that? Thrown weapons. That's for our grenades. Range, increased range, but we basically lose half the damage for it. We can hack it to get something else. Cryo. Okay. So it's the damage type. Yeah, fine. What does this give us? This mine, bit of a turret attachment. Okay, yeah, fine. That sounds cool. Yeah, like, this game has a lot of premise, and I think actually it's really good. The only downside is a bit hard to see your character, like I said. Would be really nice. Let's use the injection. So that loses physical damage for the mines, but gives us... Yeah, fine. That's fine, I don't mind that. Heal up. What does this give us? Minus melee watts, which are basic damage. Okay, that's fine. So I'm just trying to figure out how to get our ally back on their feet, to be honest. There's one down here as well. Throwing range. Man, my luck with these is just terrible. You can hack through terrain to terrain. Let's go over to the sword. Take him out. Like I said, sometimes it's a bit hard to see what is going on in the game. So do we just... So he's got to run away. He's going to take out his own enemies for us. Fantastic. Never a bad thing. But the only gripe I do have about this is keeping track of your character on the screen, because from the top down, it's not the easiest thing to see. Yep, so the little blue glowing orbs are traps. I don't know. I think just refinement of the concept, if I'm being honest. See, like you can slash through trees and stuff, which is lovely. But no, I just think a refinement of the concept would be really nice. Yeah, I know we've got low health. But yeah, just refinement of the concept would be really nice. Maybe make it so your character's a bit more visible. I don't know. It's odd. Because there's things I could recommend. We have drone part. More energy probably. Let's go with that. Research. Yeah, basic patrol vehicle. We've got a market we can go to. So we have a bit of money now. Don't have a ton. I doubt we'll be able to buy anything in all actuality. See, it tells us, oh, it's not enough. Like, what does that mean? I don't know what not enough means. Chance to get loot when hacking. No, not too bad. Improved weapon nodes, board nodes. Well, these are mods, and these are new weapons, I think. Yeah. This is a stat upgrade. You can. Oh, so basically, the yellow ones are stat upgrades, and the red ones are. There's basically two types of things. If you press your mouse button, you can basically have stat upgrades, and you have like perks that you can basically put on your equipment. So, like for example, we put a couple of ones on here. The fact that we can't heal is a bit worrying. I'm not going to lie. Personally, I'd really like a heal. Adds another bullet stack to each shot fired. Yeah, fine, let's go with that. We'll grab that. I take it our bot is still out of action. And now we get to basically the first sort of cult fight. So it's basically high threat, high ranking, high rewards. Basically, the amount of enemies present, there's going to be a lot of enemies. The enemy difficulty, which is the rank, which basically means they're going to be your elites, and how much loot we can find. So it's a lot of loot. You can also find stuff like, you can find stuff hidden on rooftops. You can use your hoverboard to get around quickly. So yeah, first things first, we need to basically get some healing of some kind. It says there's a lot of like loot hiding about. So we just have to go and find it. Bit of money. Okay, let's drop a mine. And we die. That's unfortunate. But this has been Cyberculture. It's an interesting premise for a game. If you like Hotline Miami, if you like the original sort of GTA games with top down, if you like Streets of Rogue, this game has a lot of vibes like that, and I think it has a lot of potential. But it needs a bit more polish, if I'm being honest. It's quite hard to like keep your position, like know your position, keep track of it on the screen. And for those who are photosensitive or have issues with flashing colours or bright lights, this may not be the game for you, and I would avoid it if that's the case. But it has a lot of potential, a lot more after I've played it than I thought, just having a look at it on Steam. So yeah, if you like it, check it out. I'll leave a link in the description below where you can find the game, and I'll see you all again next time. Goodbye.